So follows Q&A on laying the draw, a quick football trading strategy. So thanks for the question. I can see where you're coming from, and in fact, a very long time ago, before I even got into trading seriously, I did try laying the draw a little bit beforehand, went away for a little while, come back, and then got interested in horses. What I can say about laying the draw is, although it's not like a preferable thing that I do, there is margin in it to make some money. Although I believe, personally anyway, and it may be a case that somebody else has a bigger breakthrough than me, that laying the draw is quite a low margin strategy over the longer period of time. So when I say that, I mean when you consider over a large sample of football matches, some are going to go wrong, it's going to hit you, it's going to hurt, and over the longer period, yes, it's possible to come out on top. However, it's unlikely that it's going to have a huge margin, unless of course you're extremely specific on which matches you pick, and a few other elements which we'll cover in a second. So although that margin may increase, your sample rate is probably going to go down a fair bit. Now, because of variance with probability and betting over time, this is what sort of irons it out, as I'm saying, the creases. And I think a lot of people that have just come into trading live and die by their last result, which is not the way to be going about things, because at the end of the day, trading, you're expected to lose at points and you're expected to win at points. You're just expected to win more than you lose. So when you're sort of treating it like that and focusing everything on your last result, whether you're a winner or a loser, you know, then you're not really going to get far. You're just going to stress yourself out, and over the longer period that frustration is going to kick in and drag you down further. So bearing in mind that 2 steps forward and 3 back isn't uncommon, you just want to kind of flip it around so it's 3 steps forward and 2 back, and then over the period of time that 1 step makes that fit profit. Now, with laying the draw, if you want to succeed, you need to be very careful about which matches you select, and there's different components to consider with that, and the reason I say that is obviously because no match is treated equal. Not every situation has the same amount of opportunity within it. Sometimes with laying the draw they haven't got any at all. You get a little bit of momentum sometimes at half time as well with laying the draw, because obviously there's a lot of other people trying this as well, particularly those that are successful will do it on larger stakes, which can move the market for a few ticks. So that in itself can be a little edge just to exploit if you're interested in doing that. Although, like I say, it's not like horse racing. You're not going to be able to get a move every couple of minutes and all this kind of stuff. You're probably looking for 1 or 2, catch a little bit of momentum, offset your position, do it on larger stakes to make it pay. Now, so I guess what I'm trying to say is trading football, as I've said in other places, a bit like tennis, it's very different to horse racing in the sense that the sample of opportunity and trades is a lot lower, but on the flip side, you've got that opportunity to scale up and use far larger stakes. So going back to what I was saying about match selection there, you want to make sure that you're getting the right quality situations. Quality over quantity, it's that old saying, and it's exactly the same when trading football and doing lay the draw. So you want to pick a match which is ideal for this strategy, which is obviously going to incorporate some teams that are likely to score, hopefully more so in the second half than the first half, because we want to get in at a compressed point, half time, maybe just before half time, maybe just after. And you want to look at the different traits of the players and the teams who are on the match, because historically different teams behave differently, and there's going to be some that always score late goals. They really pick up their activity, their managers do different things in the second half, they substitute in and out different players, whereas the first half is all quite lax. Now they're the matches where you want lay the draw. You don't want to be laying the draw when it's crazy from the start, you haven't got a compressed entry, or you just basically what you're trying to do is just minimise your risk. At the end of the day, if you minimise your risk properly and appropriately, and you continually do that over time, you can come out on top. So it's a question of where is the value really, as with any trading strategy or any betting strategy even. There isn't a one size fits all, unfortunately. And so I think a lot of people treat laying the draw as a one size fits all. They just want to lay at half time, do it on however many games and come out on top. Wouldn't we all love to do that? That's not quite how it works. So the other big problem I think with football, and it's not one that affects me because quite frankly football is not like my main passion, it's not something that I love, it's not something I spend a huge amount of trading, purely because I'm not that interested in football. Sorry, please don't shoot me if you're an absolute avid football fan, but that's just the way it is for me. On the other side of the fence, I think the problem with trading football is a lot of people that trade football absolutely love it because it's one of them games where it has a huge amount of fan base, there's a lot of passion involved, all that kind of stuff. That may be you, and that creeps into people's trading, and that is a huge problem because if you're kind of like a bit of a fanatic, you've been following a team since you're 4, it's completely understandable. However, it's not going to help you make money from it because you won't be seeing it through, you'll probably be seeing it either through those rose-tinted spectacles, which is lovely if you're a fan, but it's not ideal if you're making money because you'll be making a decision from a biased point of view, which is not what we want to do. Also, that goes hand in hand with like being over opinionated about the way certain players are, the way they behave. You've only got to go to your local pub to hear guys talking about football and hear them getting so excited and so certain about it, and I can't fault them for that, but it's not going to help you find value within the market if you're just sort of like emphatically focused on a couple of players or a team. And the final thing to say, if you've come from a horse racing trading background as myself, you're probably going to find having problems with being patient when trading football. Now I've gave it a go myself over time, and that's probably something I find quite hard. I find it quite hard to sit on my hands and go, there's the opportunity, I'll sit and ride that one out, or there's not an opportunity now and I won't get involved. And that is something that probably put me off football trading earlier on in my trading career. So they trade very differently. You need to look at a slightly more longer term approach in most cases, find an edge, make sure you're not being a fanatic, and be very selective about which matches you choose if you're focusing on lay the draw. And this is probably a group of the reasons, in my own personal opinion, that I don't focus on laying the draw. For others that may find it successful, they may have found something slightly different, but that's basically my experiences. So that's all I can offer you on that one. I hope that helps, or I hope that helps you go some way to helping you make your own decisions with laying the draw.